We're at Bikes for Refugees Glasgow Hub. This is where our workshop and space where we take in donations of bikes from members of the public, fix them up with the help of our great volunteers and give them away free of charge to refugees and asylum seekers. Just so proud and so humbling that we've been able to give away so many bikes, and not just the numbers, but what those bikes have meant to people.
So the project first came about just over 4 years ago. I met a young Syrian refugee, Yamin, in Edinburgh, and Yamin bought himself an old beat-up bike. In many ways, Yamin was the inspiration behind the project. I just noticed how a simple thing like a bicycle, how that made a big difference to Yamin's resettlement during lockdown. We also pivoted to supporting key workers, NHS and key workers, access to bikes, as well as respond to things like food insecurity and poverty and people's isolation.
Joining Bikes for Refugee makes me much more happier and remove a lot of stress.
Bike for Refugee, they have helped me a lot in many different ways. For example, so they gave me a bike, that helped me a lot to commute everywhere in Glasgow. Another thing, I found friends, and I think more than friends, I found a family.
The National Lottery funding has been instrumental in continuing our operation and growing Bikes for Refugees.
What I was commissioned to do is to design 12 benches for community members that are doing some outstanding work in our communities. Once you hear their stories and the passion that they have for doing the work that they're doing, every bench had to have a slight different variation just for them.
It's great to be here in the heart of Glasgow. This is the Glasgow Green. It's nice to finally see it in place. I think the recognition of the bench is important. I think it sends out a message of recognition and solidarity to refugees and asylum seekers who come here to Scotland. But it's also a recognition of the hard work of many volunteers that make Bikes for Refugees Scotland happen. On the bench, if people come along and they sit on the bench, there's a QR code. People can scan the QR code, and that takes them to a website where they can find out a bit more information about how to support Bikes for Refugees Scotland, and a bit more information about refugees and asylum seekers as well.